I'm ready.
All right, the number is 316
316
321
321
4153.
4153.
Yes, call them immediately after you're released from this hearing. Although I'm not assessing a fine, you will have to pay court costs in the amount of $158. Are you able to pay attention?
Yes, ma'am.
You got your pencil still?
Yeah.
All right. You are also responsible for $400 to the KBI, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, for lab tests, and $60 for probation supervision. I think that's about $618. I'm going to order that you pay $103 a month. Starting on, can you pay part of that today? The first 103?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
All right. Now you may have to wait a few days until we get the journal entry in. I'm going to make your first payment due June 30th. Your first payment will be due June 30th, 2025, and then you will owe the same amount on the 30th day of each month thereafter. Of course, if you're going to get off probation in 6 months, it'll all have to be paid in full within that 6 months. You will be required to get a drug and alcohol evaluation and follow all requirements recommended. That has to be scheduled. You have to call and get that scheduled within 2 weeks. Now, they probably can't get you in 2 weeks, but you're supposed to be on the phone as a condition of your probation, calling and setting that up. You must obey all laws and follow all standard conditions of your probation. Mr. Regier, anything else we need to address?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Becker, anything else?
No, thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Mr. Becker and Mr. Ahmed are excused, although Mr. Ahmed is required to call his probation officer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Webb is excused on this case. I understand he has another. So
Jacob Wilson, Your Honor.
That's his next one.
And Cody Rector as well.
All right, well, let's go to Jacob Wilson. Mr. Patterson, are you able to address Jacob Wilson?
Yes, Judge.
We are on the record in 2024 CR 111, State of Kansas versus Jacob Cole Wilson. Please announce appearances.
Joe Regier on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appearing on behalf of Jacob Wilson, who does not appear. Judge, this is a case where he did fail to appear back on, looks like February 3rd, 2025. I haven't had any contact with him since then. I have attempted to try and find him. In doing so, I did see where he had another failure to appear in Sedgwick County, 24 TR 2212. But other than that, I've had no contact with him.
Well, he failed to appear for jury trial at one point. That would have been February 3rd was his last failure to appear. Mr. Philip Webb, bondsman, do you know where he is today?
No, we've been camped out at his house and his girlfriend's house for the past 3 weeks. I talked to Sergeant Noel, and he said that there's been sightings of him in Wichita. So we've refocused our efforts towards Wichita. He is a part of David Rickles' gym, which that's one thing that he's always been consistent at, is working out and doing MMA. And so we're hoping that we can find him in transit, but we do not have a location. We are asking for an extension just to try and, because we just found out recently from Sergeant Noel that he's been in Wichita. And that was within the last week and a half.
So what is your request?
For an extension of 15 to 30 days. And we're hoping that we could find him and have him in custody within then.
So you said his girlfriend's house, is that Catherine Anderson, the victim of this domestic battery?
Yes, the one that's supposed to be a no contact is, we've always worried that he'd go back there. We never seen him there, but we also know patterns and a lot of times those patterns lead to bad decision making.
All right, Mr. Regier, what is the state's response to this request?
Your Honor, is the court also on the record in 24 CR 34? This is a defendant who appears to have a second case on the docket today, and it also appears to be on a motion for judgment on bond.
I did not call that, but I will. We are both on the record in 2024 CR 111 as well as 24 CR 34, both captioned State of Kansas versus Jacob Cole Wilson. Jared Regier on both cases for the state, Darren Patterson on both cases for the defendant, and bondsman Philip Webb, you're here on both, is that correct?
As far as I know, I did get one through my email from my main office, just of the, what is that, the 215915.
And Your Honor, the motion for judgment on bond in this case does appear to refer to an OR bond.
Okay.
I think you mentioned a case number I don't have. Didn't you say something with a 59 in it, Mr. Webb?
I said it was the, where's this at? I'm sorry, I read the ordinance instead of the case number. The case number that I have is the 17819E.
I have case numbers 24 CR 34 and 24 CR 111. Are you maybe looking at the other defendant's warrant?
No, I'm looking at Jacob Wilson, but they do have the wrong paperwork sent to me from my main office, but I do see the 24 CR 111.
Okay. All right.
And again, Your Honor, in the 24 CR 34 case, the only bond that appears to have been executed in that matter appears to be an OR bond.
Yes, and I am going to grant judgment in 24 CR 34 against Jacob Cole Wilson for $750. That is an OR bond.
And Your Honor, if the state may be heard briefly on the 24 CR 111 case.
And I will now take, well, just a moment. $750 in the 34. Now back to the 24 CR 111, in which the defendant and the bondsman are noticed to be here, as it does have Mr. Webb as the bondsman. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, it would appear that there has been a request placed on the record for an extension insofar as the motion for judgment on bond is concerned. It would also appear that per statements on the record, neither counsel for the defense nor the bondsman, not to put words in their mouth, are aware of the defense's current whereabouts. The motion for judgment on bond in the 24 CR 34 case does appear to have a return as part of a separate filing. It appears to indicate that there was an attempt at service by certified mail on the defendant at the same address on the bond in that case. And on that return, there appears to be an attached document with an indication stating, quote, return to sender unclaimed, unable to forward. The state has some concerns given the prior history of this case and whether or not an extension will yield any additional results. So for those reasons, in light of that, the state would move that the request for an extension be denied and that the judgment be granted per the motion for judgment on bond in both cases at this time.
I will grant the judgment against the defendant and the bondsman, but I will stay the issuance of that order for 30 days. Give him a chance to one last effort to find him. And so I will leave it, Mr. Webb, that you either find him and turn him in within 30 days or pay the judgment.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that will be the court's order in both of the Wilson cases. We'll be in recess on both of those. And then you said the other one you had, would you tell me that name again, please, Mr. Webb?
Yes, it's Cody Rector. And 2 weeks ago, on his way here, he works on the road. He was apprehended and bonded out by a different bondsman, I believe in Shawnee County. And I don't see him on the docket. So they set a new court date in August, is what he told me.
I do see that it was canceled for today. The motion for judgment was canceled for today and.
Okay.
Let's see, Jen, do you have him on an August calendar?
August 13th, Your Honor.
August 13th.
Okay, so there you have that one.
Great.
Okay, so anything else that you need to address, Mr. Webb, before I let you go?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
The rector, you want the case number, Deputy?
Yes, please.
It's 24 TR 3232, Cody Austin Rector.
All right, let's talk about that. The hearing with Judge Webster was a bit of a juggling act, with multiple defendants, overlapping cases, and a bondsman who's clearly putting in the miles, literally trying to track people down. The highlight here was Jacob Cole Wilson's situation, which is complicated by not one, but two active cases, 24 CR 111 and 24 CR 34. Wilson didn't show up again, and the record reflects a prior failure to appear for a jury trial back in February. Defense counsel Darren Patterson admitted he's had no contact with Wilson, though he's aware of yet another missed court date in a different county. Then we had bondsman Philip Webb, who's been staking out both Wilson's residence and his girlfriend's place. The same girlfriend who's the protected party in a no-contact order. Webb never spotted him there, but as he put it, patterns are patterns, and bad decisions have a way of repeating themselves. The latest lead from law enforcement placed Wilson in Wichita, frequenting an MMA gym, so Webb asked for an extension, hoping he could pick him up in transit. Judge Webster's patience here was measured. The prosecutor, Jerry Rigier, pushed back hard, pointing out that prior service attempts were returned unclaimed and questioning whether more time would change anything. Ultimately, the judge split the difference. She granted judgment against both Wilson and Webb but stayed the actual enforcement for 30 days. Translation: find him in that time or pay up. It's a last chance window. And she made it crystal clear that the clock is ticking. The hearing also had its share of procedural curveballs, with mismatched paperwork, the bondsman referencing the wrong numbers, in a brief detour into another defendant's status. Webb even had to clarify that his other client, Cody Rector, had been apprehended in a different county and was already reset for an August date, removing him from today's docket. Through it all, Judge Webster kept the room moving, clarifying dates, confirming case numbers, and ensuring each matter was wrapped up properly before moving on. What stood out most wasn't fireworks or heated exchanges, it was the steady grind of bond enforcement work. These cases often live in that gray space between the legal system's deadlines and the unpredictable reality of tracking down defendants. Here, the judge balanced firmness with a sliver of opportunity. The prosecutor pressed for closure. The defense had little to work with, and the bondsman left with 30 days to prove his efforts pay off. Not the flashiest moment on the docket, but for anyone who's ever worked in the justice system, it was a textbook example of how persistence, patience, and process intersect. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.